through.
Domenic, you want to scroll through and see if it's there?
Oh, yeah, sure. That looks...
So the kids on a wagon?
That's a Jeep.
Wait, no. I don't think we have that.
We don't have that one. Well, anyhow, there's also a picture of Mount Vesuvius in Italy. It's in Pompeii, right just outside of Naples. And I have a picture of that here, but it didn't show it too clear.
It will be if you try it.
And
let me see if I can put to it. Is that it?
yeah. Now Pompeii
Go
was
back.
covered completely by the eruption of that volcano years ago, and they're still excavating today. I was there 5 years ago and 6 years ago. I went twice in 04 and 06, and they still doing excavation work in that ruins of Pompeii. And anyhow, well, then after we came out of the cave, we got all the kids quieted down. We gave them candy what we had, and kind of pacified the situation a little. We took off from there. We were going on to the Battle of Monte Cassino, which was a monastery on top of a hill in Italy, central Italy. There they had, well, it wasn't exactly central, but they had a monastery there that was years and years old. And the Germans had put tanks and everything up there and had fortified themselves at this monastery. And it's just like you're standing on the table and looking down on this floor, down on the table from behind, look down on the floor, you can see every little thing that takes place down below. That's where the Germans had us over there. They had me been down in the riverbed 2 days before I got out. But I was the last one out. And so they could see everything that was taking place down in the valley. So finally they ended up by giving orders to bomb the monastery up on the hill in Monte Cassino. And that's the way they got the Germans out of there. Also there was a Japanese unit in the army there called 442nd. We called it the Purple Heart Battalion because every one of the soldiers in that unit received the Purple Heart because they had suffered wounds. And then now the Polacks and soldiers of the Purple Heart Battalion were probably the ones that were mostly responsible for that Battle of Monte Cassino ending, although it lasted for quite a while. From there we went on up to Rome, and I was sitting outside the walls of Rome with a machine gun, but there were no Germans in there. Rome was not bombed. They had an understanding that was to be off limits because of the cathedral there in Rome and the Vatican City and many religious buildings there. They preserved all of that. But outside the perimeters of that, this was a lot of the battles taking place. And like I was told just a while ago, there's one question that you should probably be asking about guns. And also if you got wounded, this sort of thing. Well, what I failed to say earlier was that in Africa, when there's a Kasserine Pass, there's one valley between these two high mountains. There was 26 miles of road, then the mountains come up. The Germans would come down over the mountain, and they'd sweep that whole road with machine gun fire and swoop up and over the mountain. And they call that Messerschmitt Lane because that was the name of the planes that were doing the scraping. I don't know how it happened, but I got back to camp one day, and I was going to change my shirt, and I couldn't get my shirt off. It was stuck right here. What I didn't know was that I had a hole here. So the cook heated up some water, and he made little patches with a rag, and he soaked it so I could get my shirt off. And then we put some medication on it, I grabbed some more food out of the kitchen and took off back to Kasserine Pass. It was never reported because usually by the time I reported that, they sent me to the hospital for treatment, and then they sent me to the replacement depot where soldiers are when they need replacement, certain units, they send them out of this replacement depot. Well, if I had reported that, they would have sent me to the replacement depot. By the time I got out of there, my outfit would have been gone. They put me in a new outfit, and I didn't want that. I wanted to stay in the unit I was in. So, other than that little hole in my side there, everything's fine. So then, after the war ended, I was wanting to go to France because they're still fighting over there. My brother was over there. I wanted to go there with him. So I put in for a transfer to go to France. And the company commander told me that I could go to France one day and my papers came through for transfer. He says I could go to France or I could stay there in the company and be first sergeant. I was already a buck sergeant. Or I could go home. So I said, well, I've been over here 3 years already. You better send me home. I don't want to tax my luck. So they sent me home. So after I come home, I became a civilian. And that's the name of that too.
Any questions?
Clipboard picture of what seems to be a tank.
Well, the tank picture, yeah, that didn't come through too well. Well, that's the 1st Armored Division tank going across the desert in Tunisia in North Africa. When they would stop sometimes, we'd talk to the guy in the tank and he'd turn the radio on and we'd get music. Songs that were very popular here in the United States was being played by a lady in Germany. Her name was Sally. They called her Axis Sally. She played all these popular